Alright, so we'll be going over the Illustrator basics. So you just start with opening up a new file, and then you got all these different settings in here. You can change the width, and then you can change the height, and then there's the color modes from RGB and CMYK, and then you got the raster effects. So I just keep it on high. Better resolution. Everybody likes clear images, and you can change all these different formats and document settings. Alright, and then with that, I just open up a custom document I already had saved. Alright, so here we go. Boom. Clean slate. So here's the toolbar. That's fun. You got the properties. These are pretty much the most important things. And then after that, you got the layers. And it's cool to have your layers organized, so that's what I'll start with. Just opening up new layers. So in here you can change. In here you can add a new layer, and then you can change the colors so you can tell your layers apart. You can also change the name. There's more stuff you can do with the layers, but that's pretty much the basics, and you can just organize them from 1, 2, and 3. But the trick is on this little right here, when you click on a layer, you have to click on these buttons. That's how you actually select a new layer. It can get confusing and annoying sometimes because you click on one and then keep editing, but you're just editing in the initial layer, but you have to click on those buttons. Alright, so now I'm just selecting stuff. That's how you select objects and paths, and this is the pen tool. And the pen tool is my least favorite thing in Illustrator. It makes it very intimidating to approach, but it's kind of simple when you get the hang of it. So yeah, I just made a line, and then this is how you edit the stroke. And then, so yeah, you can stretch it out. I'm sorry if I'm a little off. I'm recording my voice after I've already made the video, but here's the curvature tool, and this is what puts the curves in the lines. And you can also do this with the paintbrush tool, the draw tool, but you can add curvature points. So this is how you get those like curves. But yeah, so you just add points wherever you think they need to be. Yeah, you can stretch them out, line them up, and then you select the end. And when you select the end, you want to hold it, because if you don't, then that's how you connect it, and that's boom. That's how I did that. So then yeah, I now have an object or a path, and then with that, I can fill in the color. Boom, just made a nice little red. Got some little red sunglasses here, and then when you select it, now it's all one thing. And then when you click on these corners, yeah, it was being a little weird, but when you click on these corners and you got that little double-sided arrow, that's how you rotate an object. So yeah, there's that. So now that we have that, you can move it around, and then you can distort it, stretch it out, make it bigger, smaller, do whatever you want to do with it. So yeah, I'm still doing that. You can do it with the corners, you can do it with the sides, you can do it at the top, you can do it at the bottom, you can do that cool fun stuff. But when you want to stretch it, but you don't want to distort it, you hold shift, and then you do, the pull thing, and then it will keep the same proportions. It'll just make it bigger or smaller. Alright, so there's that. So yeah, pretty easy so far. It's not that difficult. Illustrator isn't that difficult. It just takes some time to get used to. So yeah, click over the line segment tool, and then you can see the different shapes we have. There's the polygon, ellipse, square, rectangle tool, and then here I'll go ahead and add just some different shapes, and then we'll go ahead and start with the next part. Alright, so I got my 3 shapes here. So here I'm just showing you how to put different colors. So then they have this palette here. Then you can click on the actual palette, and then you can go and adjust the CMYK colors. And if I was in RGB, it would be the same. It would look the same, and it would just say RGB. But then yeah, you got all the colors there at the bottom, and you can just use these sliders to adjust the colors how you need to. Alright, so now I got my shapes and my colors, so now I'm going to go ahead and add them to the correct layer I want them in. It kind of worked out. I didn't click on those buttons like I said to at the beginning, but now I can show you that you can just drag the objects and put them in the layers you want to. Now this is good for this, but when you go in more depth for whatever you want to make, you definitely want to you want to be on the right layer when you're making adjustments. Alright, so now with that being said, you can lock layers by just clicking in that little empty space in between the layer and the eyeball. And now you can't edit those layers. And yep. So there's that. And then what those little eyeballs do, they just take them off the canvas. So you can't see it, and it's best when you do that to also lock the layer. I don't believe you can edit it when it's not on the canvas, even when it's unlocked, but I just like to lock and take it off when I do that, just to be safe. Alright, and now for the fun part. So I'm going to show you how to split objects. This is one of my favorite things to do in Illustrator. So you just click those three dots at the bottom, and then you pull out the extended toolbar, and you can see how to draw things here. Then you got to modify things here, and then we'll start with the knife tool, and this is the easiest way to do it. I'm going to show you 3 ways to do it. The knife tool is the easiest because, as you can see, you just draw a little line here, and then you click the select, and then you can still drag the object as a full, but then you go ahead and click to the side, and then you click the splits, the little pieces, and then you can drag those and move those wherever you so please. And then it'll keep those pieces separate. I mean, you can combine them like I did here, and then make the object whole again. But the good thing with this is those pieces will remain their own after. So you can see in the layers there, they're 2 different paths now. Then you got the next way. You got the draw tool. This is similar. So I went this way, but I didn't like that. So I like yin and yang. Excuse me. So I just try to make that little thing there. Then you go ahead and do that. Then you can select it, and then you can't see it in here, but then you go up to window, and you go down there to Pathfinder. And then with that, you just go ahead and click divide, and then you click that, and then it might not look like it did anything. Then you go ahead and select it, and then it's still a hole as of right now, but then you double click it, and then it'll pop up this little menu right there. And then it got it in a group, then you can go ahead and select those halves on those pieces and then move them around. But this is why I like the knife tool, because when you go ahead and back out of this, it keeps it as one. So I'm not really the biggest fan of that, but this is a different way to split an object. So yeah, there's that. And then, so yeah, go back to show that. Then you have the third way, alright? Is that one? Cool, so yeah. Then you have this, come on. No, yeah. Then you got the third way, and this is how you make straight line cuts. Select that, undo. Oh, undo is also Control Z. So you're not always going up to the edit thing. Control Z is how you undo. But that's on anything. So I hope that you guys know that by now. So then go ahead and make that line. And whichever object I want to pick the star, just to show this better. Then you select it all, and then you go over to Shape Builder. And then once you do Shape Builder, you click on the half. And I don't know why, but it takes the fill out, but I'll go ahead and show you how to fix that. But then yeah, you go ahead and deselect the whole object and you just click the half. And then this also keeps it as just their own shapes. So yeah, and then you just go ahead and fill in the half with whatever color you want. Did red and green, just coming off the Christmas break. I'm a fan of Christmas. I like Santa Claus. It kind of looks like the Mexican flag. I like burritos. So yeah, there's that. And then this isn't perfect, but for the sake of the video, I didn't really want to fix that up too much. This is just the intro to Illustrator. So yeah, there's that. So these are the 3 ways you can split objects. Like I said, I'm the biggest fan of the knife tool. I love that. And then there's that. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of that. So now I'm just combining everything that I just showed you. So now I am trying to rotate it. I don't know why I was being so weird. Boom. Alright, so now all I'm doing is just making a new layer, titling it combo, because I'm going to show you how to group objects together. This is very important in Illustrator. So yeah, just adding those to the combo layer. Then move these little things out the way. Alright, so now you just select them both, and you go over to object, and then you go to group. And then now they are one. Yeah, just rotate it, and you got this little star slide, or I don't really know, but then yeah, you can stretch it. It's all it's all combined. Yeah, I'm not gonna re-record that. But yeah, that's that part of the video. Alright, so the first half was pretty much all the basics, so now I'm just gonna go over text and a few other smaller things. In this half, so here I am just typing my name. My name is Nas, for those who didn't know. So yeah, you just type, and then you can select it, and then yeah, you can still do all the same things you could do with an object: stretch, and then shift and stretch to keep the same proportions, all the same. Then you go into properties, and then you got the fill, and then you got the stroke, you got the characters, and I spent a lot of time going through the Adobe fonts. I probably spent upwards of 2 hours picking all the fonts I like. If you have Adobe and you have Creative Cloud, I would highly suggest you do the same. There's a lot of great fonts in there. You never know when you're going to need a different font for a different occasion. And this way you won't have to like go back and then be like, oh, I like this font, and then just try to find new things. So yeah, I like this font, so I'm going to use this for the tutorial. So yeah, then you got all these different things in here, and I'll go over what each of them are. So this, I wish I knew the names of them. I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge, but this kind of just spaces it out more between the characters. And then this next one is spaces it out between the lines. So like double spacing and like a document, you can pretty much adjust how much space you want between each line. It won't let you go to 0, because if it was 0, it would just be on top of each other, so it'll be like 0.1. It's about to say that here in a second. Yep. And then you can see I try to show again that I won't let you go to 0, so put in 0, then you have 0.1. And they vary depending on what size the font itself is, how much space you need. I kind of lucked up with 86 being perfect. If you don't know, I love 86, that number. So I just like to, it's good to have just a set number you like, just to see where to start with anything really. So even that first setting I showed you, with this, and then now you got the actual font size. I never really used this, and it kind of, that worked out because I don't know what exactly this is. So again, sorry for my lack of knowledge there. But yeah, here you got the fill. You can change the color. Got a nice little green here. Then you got the stroke. Boom. Then you can thicken it, thin it there. That's nice. So yeah, that's the text. Pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, you got that now. So yeah, go ahead and go to the next one. Get that out the way, and then yeah, you wanna kind of adjust the stroke for, again, they all vary. So just kind of make it how you want it. So yeah, make a new layer. Let's see. I'm gonna start. So now I'm gonna show you how to fit text into objects. So this is actually very easy. I'll just fast forward it a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I won't fast forward it because I was showing how to take out the fill and then thicken up the stroke. You can pretty much do the same thing with every object. I just wanted to show it with this specific object because I don't think I did it that well in the first half. So yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and click the text. So here what you do, you just hover over it and then you want it to say path. You want to get right over it and then you just click it and then now it is in that star in that object. So yeah, now I'm just typing inside and then my font is too big, so I have to go ahead and make that smaller so it can fit in right. And so now I think I'm gonna fast forward it because I just copied and pasted a bunch of times to show you how it will fit in the star. Okay, no, sorry, I lied again. So to like adjust the type by like centering it or aligning it to the left or right, you got the area type and then you want to align it to center. You can align it at the bottom, you can align it at the top. In the paragraph, just like a document, you can go ahead and like move that around however you like. So now here, okay, yeah, for sure. This is when I start to copy and paste to show you how it fits into the shape. Alright, so boom. So now you have the text inside the shape. Artworks is the sickest. So here's that. And then now what I'm going to do is delete this and then show you guys how to do the same thing but with color in the background, because when you do that, the text kind of takes the shape. Um, so if you want to do that same thing but have like the shape as the background with some fill color, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So this time I'm going to just do a circle, make it simple, pick some colors. I did not like this purple and yellow when I started. I am a fan of purple. I don't know why I didn't like it this time, but I love blue and green and yellow much more. So that is the color I went with. Let's see. Boom. Let's make some adjustments. Eventually I'll get there. There we go. Alright, change the stroke color and boom. So now what I'm gonna do, right here I pressed Control C, but you can still go up to edit and copy and then just paste in place. You can do paste in front, paste in back, but here I just did paste in place, so that way I can just do the same thing and just keep that background. So there's that. So now you can see that top shape is where the text is, and then that pasted or the copied shape is what the background is. So yeah, I tried to paste the artworks as the sickest, but I forgot I copied the shape, so it gave me all the details for that. So here I am just typing it out again and then copy and pasting it again, and then I'll go ahead and fast forward it here. Alright, so now that I got that copy and pasted, I just went ahead and changed the fill color or the font color. And then, so yeah, for here, so like I said, that top layer, or the top shape is where the text is, so you just go ahead and select them both and then group them like I showed you before, and now they're just one object. So there is that. Pretty easy, like I said, not too complicated. You can do this with any shape. You can even do this with custom shapes. You just go ahead and do the same thing. You just want to make sure that when it is a custom shape, that it actually is an object. So to make sure it's an object, it has to be a closed shape, and I will actually show that right here. Cool, so I got this smiley face drawn, so I'll go ahead and select that. So now what I'm going to do is show you the curvature tool. You can go ahead and, like I said, you want to connect it, and boom, now it is an object. I can fill it in, that pretty much is what makes it an object, is just to make sure you can fill it in, really. Boom, it might look like it's connected, but you just want to make sure with that curvature tool. And now I can deselect curvature points, just clicking over them and then just pressing delete. And now what I'm going to do is just fill in with some color. Red in this one, and then click, boom, nice blue in this one. Cool. So yeah, got that, and then yep, go ahead and group them, and move it around, make some adjustments. Cool, I like that. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what I did here next. Let's see. Cool. So here, what I'm going to do is show you how to make a curved end or rounded end on a line, because when you make just a normal line, the ends are square. And this is pretty easy to do. Go ahead and bring the stroke up a little bit. Zoom in and show you better. So yeah, you got the squared end here. So what you just do, you just select the line, and then you go over to stroke. Yep, right here. Click on that. And then in here you got the cap. So boom, right there, and then just like that, you now have rounded ends. So yeah, click off, and then you can see there that the ends are in fact rounded. Oh, who would have thought? So just like that, then yeah, go ahead and show both sides. It does the entire line. And you do have to do this with every line, unless you make that adjustment before you make the line. So yeah, that's pretty easy. So now what I'm going to do is just show you how to make gradient, because who doesn't love a nice gradient? So yeah, ungroup, I didn't show that before. So yeah, now you have that all by itself. Go ahead and, so you can see here I held shift when I made that adjustment. So yeah, go ahead and click on the gradient, and then you got the types right there. I went ahead and just picked eclipse or radial, I'm sorry. Then you just double click on those circles, and then you can pick the color you want. So I started with the red, but like I said, I am a huge fan of green and blue. Those are probably my favorite colors. So boom, boom. Alright, cool. And now you have this sick eclipse. I don't know, I think I just clicked off on accident, but yeah, I meant to click that, and then boom. And yeah, there's that. And then put that right back there, and then go ahead and group them together. Boom. Move it out the way. Yep. And so for my last trick, oh right. So here I'm going to show you how to make how to warp text. This is pretty fun. So when you have those like art text logos or fisheye logos, this is how you do that. So you just select the text you want, and then you go to effect, and then you go to warp, and then you have all these settings here. So like I said, arc is probably the most popular. Flag is my favorite. I will end it with the flag, but I'll go ahead and start with the arc. So yeah, it pulls up this menu right here, and then you can change the bend if you want it under or over. You can just adjust the slide here. Then you also have the horizontal and vertical settings there on the bottom. So yeah, I just kept adjusting the settings here. So yeah, you got 50. You can also type it in. I'll show that here in a second. But yeah, you can just adjust it through there, and then you got the arc lower, the arc upper. You got the fisheye. Yeah, you can make those adjustments here. Alright, so there's that, and I accidentally entered that, so when you do that, it just makes it final, and then it kind of does get annoying, because you have to undo it and then make different adjustments. So here's the twirl, and it looks better sometimes when you have a bigger font. Other times it just looks mushed. But yeah, here's the flag. Like I said, this is my favorite of the warp settings. Um, so you can adjust it like that. Like I said, you can type it in there, and then bada boom, there is that. So you can do some pretty fun stuff with that. Um, so yeah, go ahead and zoom out, move that up, and then so yeah. Now for my last trick, there's where you can get crazy, and I don't go too into detail over this, but it is a really cool thing to do with Illustrator. Um, just 3D objects. So go ahead and make a circle here, and then you want to make sure the stroke's off. You can have the stroke on, but sometimes it can make it look really weird depending on what you're trying to do with this. So yeah, you go back into the effects menu, and then sometimes it just doesn't work. You like click on it, but you have to like go into the menu to actually make, so you can see how I was waiting for it to render here. But then yeah, you just go back, and then you just go to 3D, and then you go there, and then shoot and bevel, and then about up. See, I even fell for it doing the voiceover. Oh nope, there it is. So yeah, sometimes it does just take a second because it does have to render. And just some food for thought. This does kill your battery, depending on what type of laptop or MacBook you have. This will drain it. It does take a lot of power to render these things, and like I said, you can get crazy. So the crazier you get, the more power it will drain. So yeah, you can rotate it around. Yeah, there I went and accidentally accepted the settings, and then this is what actually happens when you do the same thing with the font. When you try to put a effect over an effect, it'll see if you want to apply a new effect. So I just want to cancel it and then undid everything so I could do it again. So you can actually see the lighting change when I am doing these adjustments, and that is something I will show here in a second. So yeah, go back and then shoot and bevel, or revolve. I did revolve this time. So yeah, you got that, and then you can rotate it around. So that's cool. And then you go here, you got the different surface settings. Got the flat surface, the wireframe, diffuse shading, and then plastic. Yep. And then so here you can go into more options, and here's those light settings I was talking about. So you can change where you want the light to hit right here. You can change the light intensity. You can change the highlight intensity. You can even change the highlight color, or the shadow color. I'm sorry. I'll do that here in a second. So yeah, I'm just going through these settings. I'm just showing you all what you can do. So here you got the custom yellow. I love my green on yellows. I don't know what it is. It's super sick to me. So yeah, you got that, and then boom, that looks super sick. So then you go ahead and click that, and then instead of having to do all those, like going back, what I missed the first time, um, um, yep. So here I am just making adjustments, but I'll go into it again here in a second. I'll point it out when I do. But yeah, now I'm just adjusting, playing around with it. And again, just showing you guys what you can do with this. So it is really cool. Like I said, you can get really crazy with this and make some pretty cool designs. So yeah, I made this like this skate bushing looking thing. I thought that looked pretty cool. Yeah, just click it, and then here, yeah. So you can just click on this. This is what I missed the last time. You just pull those settings right back up. You can change the position you want it to view at. And yeah, like I said, you can get really crazy with this. Change all these different types of settings. And yeah, so yeah, just changing that. But that pretty much sums it up. This is my intro to Illustrator tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you play it back. Hope you learned something. Right, this is me showing the eyedropper tool because I didn't show that at all in the tutorial. So this, in fact, is my last trick. So yeah, just go ahead and make a little circle here. I still got the gradient on, so gradient settings do change. In fact, all fill and stroke settings stay the same when you make a new object, but they're all pretty easy to fix. So yeah, this is just me showing you the eyedropper tool. Pretty easy. And that will sum up my intro to Illustrator. Like I said, I hope you learned something. Hope it was cool. Bada boom, Snot Nos is out.